I'm not condoning any behaviors or anything illegal or against rules or regulations, but I was curious to know, as far as the temperature sensor goes on the door, mirror, driver's side of I think it's a 2022 Cascadia Freightliner Cascadia. I think it's a 2022. Anyways, date of manufacture, yeah, March 2022. Okay, so as you can see, I've ripped the door panel apart. There is a T27 torque screws along the bottom. Here, 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 there, here, here, here. 2 push pins. One was up here, another one was here. I watched another video of a guy who actually repaired the mirror, the driver's side door mirror, and this was the connector that was removed to basically and reinstalled for the door mirror with the heat and the temperature sensor. So I have my meter. It was set on resistance slash ohms 20 kind of less for you. Not much really. On resistance ohms 20k. So that's the resistance I have, 12.54 ohms. Should be, I guess, 12,000 ohms. So I was curious. I had this connector and of course finding wire diagrams and everything to figure out which pin was what. This is the truck side harness, and this is the mirror harness. So I had to kind of decipher which one was which. And the temperature sensor could either have been a 2-wire or a 3-wire setup. I was kind of assuming it would have been like a potentiometer type of thing with my electrical troubleshooting background that I have. So I just kind of started guesstimating, figuring out, okay, certain wires for certain things. You have your mirror heat, which is probably going to be the 2 larger gauge wires here, at least insulation wise. I don't know if they're actually thicker conductors, but that I would assume would be the heat for the actual mirror. These 3 wires probably for, since they're all 3 the same color, to have, I think, different numbers on them. 452X, 452Y, and 452Z. So I bet you those 3 are probably for the up and down, left and right movement of the mirror. That leaves these 2 wires here, the gray and the black with a white stripe, corresponding to the mirror connector would be the same, black with a white stripe and a gray. So I have my alligator clips on the pins. This is the female side, this is the male side, so you have the pins in there. So I have alligator clips on both of those, and of course there. So I was like, okay, we'll see. I already messed with this once already, just to verify, but here's your sensor. I'll put some heat on it, and if that's, I don't know, I gotta reset this up so I can get a better angle on the dangle. Come on, there we go. Put my thumb and forefinger under to heat that sucker up, and the resistance goes down. So I found the 2 wires. Take my fingers off, comes back up. So I found the 2 wires. My original intention was thinking of getting a potentiometer and going through and hooking up a potentiometer to those 2 wires so that I can manually adjust the temperature and then put the potentiometer in the door somewhere so that always I could bypass the internal settings that the company has set up, where if the temperature is between 20 degrees and 72 to 73 degrees, that it shuts the truck off after 5 minutes of idling. So that on humid days here in Texas, when it's 65 degrees overnight but the humidity is like 90%, I can at least run the air conditioner to stay comfortable, because 65 isn't a bad temperature if you don't have the humidity. But being Texas and the southeast flow off the Gulf, it can get humid, especially through the Gulf states and up the Mississippi Valley and all that. Anyways, so either that or I get a resistor of certain amount, but I wouldn't know exactly what. I think a potentiometer, probably I don't know if a 5K potentiometer or 10K pot would work. So that always, like I said, I can adjust the temperature. If I wanted to get even more creative, I could have a switch to bypass where I can manually switch it to probably a double pole, double throw type of switch, where one set is automatic, an HOA switch actually. one in the automatic mode, it goes through the door actual temperature sensor, and in the auto, or in the manual mode, it will go through the potentiometer. But yeah, that's what my electrical knowledge over the years I've dealt with in the previous company has led me to this point. And of course, there's a door module there. So there's a lot of electronics. It's not a simple system. I'm sure that feedback goes to the computer inside the truck, which then interprets it and does its math and calculations. So on my dash with the harness disconnected, I actually have the check engine light and of course the no temperature sensor there. So that is, I don't know if I want to pursue that, because I don't know how long I'm going to be with this company. But for those of you who are more inclined and apt to go into more trouble than it's worth, instead of getting like a heated blanket or a thermal blanket or something to wrap around the mirror to do that, I don't know. There's options, but my curiosity had the better of me, and I decided, since I'm waiting for my trailer to show up, I might as well turn to the door panel and see what I can find, and if it was even possible. So, to recap, black wire with white stripe, gray wire on the mirror side of the connector, and then on the truck side of the connector, it'll be the same black with white stripe and gray wire. Pin 7 and 8. Will my phone camera work here? Too close, won't focus. Anyways, my other option, I've done this to keep OEM harnesses in my personal vehicle. I've done reverse harnesses and where I didn't have to cut into the factory wires and things like that. But for me to find, it wouldn't be possible, because I'd have to, I'm not really inserting a component in between. I would just be rewiring this. The other thing I could try to do is remove the pins and put a jumper. But see, even the jumper probably wouldn't work, because that's, yeah, I don't know, that might be worse. I think the idea of maybe splicing into here with the potentiometer would probably be a better idea, and then using either quick disconnect or bullet type connectors here, so that always I can remove the setup and put this back to quote unquote factory setup again. But I'll have to do some research as far as components go, and then try and figure out if I want to even bother with it. Just, yeah. So that's all I got for this video. Just some information tidbits for you Cascadia drivers out there.